Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashoda Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupada Pravansa Parivajikacharya Ashtottashata Shri Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jam Vishnupada Pravansa Parivajikacharya Ashtottashata Shri Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Nitai Gaura Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 16. Mohini Murti bewilders Lord Shiva. Today verse number 16. Tateham darshayishyami didruksho surasattama kaminam bahumantavyam sankalpa prabhavodayam tateham darshayishyami didruksho surasattama Kaminam bahu mantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Tateham darshayishyami Didruksho surasattama Kaminam bahu mantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Kaminam bahu mantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Tateham darshayishyami Didruksho surasattama Kaminam bahu mantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Tateham darshayishyami Didruksho surasattama Kamina mahudantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Vaishnavi Tateham darshayishyami Didruksho surasattama Kaminam bahumantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Tateham darshayishyami Surasattama Kaminam bahumantavyam Sankalpa prabhavodayam Tat that te unto you aham I darshayishyami shall show not show sorry didruksho desirous of seeing surasattama O best of the demigods kaminam of persons who are very lusty bahu very much mantavyam an object of adoration sankalpa lusty desires prabha udayam causing to be strongly aroused. Translation and purport by Srīmad Bhāgavatam Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O best of the demigods, I shall now show you my form that is very much appreciated by those who are lusty. Since you want to see that form, I shall reveal it in your presence. Purport. Lord Shiva's desiring to see Lord Vishnu reveal the most attractive and beautiful form of a woman was certainly a joking affair. Lord Shiva knew that he could not be agitated by any so-called beautiful woman. The Daityas may have been bewildered, he thought, but since even the demigods could not be agitated, what to speak of me, who am the best of all the demigods? However, because Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Vishnu's form as a woman, Lord Vishnu decided to impersonate a woman and show him a form that would immediately put him in an ocean of lusty desires. In effect, therefore, Lord Vishnu told Lord Shiva, I will show you my form as a woman, and if you become agitated by lusty desires, do not blame me. The attractive features of a woman are appreciated by those who are affected by lusty desires. But those who are above such desires, who are on the platform of Krishna consciousness are very difficult to bewilder. Nonetheless, by the supreme desire of the personality of Godhead, everything can be done. This was to be a test of whether Lord Shiva could remain unagitated. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katha Mahyam Thadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataro Vyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. In the Upanishads it is mentioned that Lord Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko hi Bahnam Yo Vidudhati Kaman. So Lord is the one supreme Nitya, supplying necessities to all the other Nityas, eternal living entities. And He is the one fulfilling the desires of every living entity. Eko hi Bahnam Yo Vidudhati Kaman. Different varieties of desires that living entity proposes, and Lord fulfills all of them. So here also we see Lord Shiva desired to see the form which He was shown previously immediately after churning of the ocean, milk ocean, to distribute the nectar. And Lord Shiva wanted to see that form. So Krishna already told, Vishnu already told him, the Lord told, if I show you this form, you will get agitated, you still want to see? He said, yes, I want to see. And here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada wrote, I will show you, but if you get agitated, please don't blame me. Yes, Lord Shiva is very glorified as, Prabhupada always uses, I just forgot, not Daksha, Daksha, expert. And Prabhupada always quotes this Kumara Sambhava story, how Lord Shiva was meditating naked, and for Kartikeya to born, so all the demigods insisted Mother Parvati to go and worship the linga. Then, although she was worshipping, still she could not agitate Lord Shiva. And we also see in the pastime of Chitraketu Maharaj being cursed, and Lord Shiva was sitting in an assembly, and Mother Parvati was sitting on his lap, but still he was not agitated. But here, only Lord can agitate him. And that's why Lord is telling, I know you did not get agitated by any other means, any beautiful woman in this world, but you still will get agitated. But if you get agitated, don't blame me for that. And we also say in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, any person approaches the Lord with any kind of desire, that desire get fulfilled and it get purified, and he will get Krishna Bhakti ultimately. Dhruva Maharaj went with a material desire to get big kingdom than his great-grandfather, Lord Brahma. So his desire got fulfilled. He got darshan of the Lord. When Lord offered him, he said, Swamin Kutastofmi, I don't want any Varamnayachet. So I don't want this. I came for broken pieces of glasses, but I got the diamond I don't want. And in the beginning of 7th canto, it was asked by Yudhishthir Maharaj to Narada Muni, what is this? Lord killed and he is siding all the demigods. And so in that conversation, Narada Muni explains that with any motive a person approaches to the Lord. He gives example of gopis approaching Lord with lust, kamat, but they got purified. Of course, their lust is on the different level, which is the original lust supposed to have for every living entity. But the perverted reflection we see in this world as seen between same gender or different genders these days. But anything applied to Lord brings purification and elevates one's consciousness, and it will be glorified. So here, Lord Shiva, although got bewildered, and it's glorified everywhere. Lord Mahadev got bewildered by the beauty of the Lord. So, and we also see in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, end of the 3rd chapter section, Lord explains very elaborately about lust and its sitting places. Because all the living entity is bewildered in this world by the lust, which is sitting in different strategic positions. So what are those? Krishna tells to Arjuna, what are the different places that lust sits? Senses, mind, intelligence, and the sense objects. So everywhere pretty much. What is left? So it's there everywhere. So we have to control it. We have to channel it to a right direction. So that's the whole game. So Krishna says, Mahapapne. So it is greatest sin. And Dushpurena Analena cha. So very difficult to surmount. Analena cha. So very, very difficult to extinguish. A big forest fire is there. Rain comes. It can extinguish, but manually you can bring any amount of water with helicopters, with fire brigade, with whatever possibility. One cannot satisfy that lust. But when the rain comes, only that forest fire will get subsided. So similarly, the rain of mercy by the Lord, only then one can get satisfied that lust. So otherwise, that will burn everything. It's not just burns one material desires, because material desires are burning always in the heart of a living entity. And to fulfill them, one has to supply unlimited amount of fuel. That is our energy. Our energy, that material energy, we have to supply it to fulfill those. But they never get satisfied and never get extinguished. Just introspect in our own day-to-day affairs. So many desires will pop up, and last pop-ups we try to satisfy. It feels like, yeah, for now I got fulfilled, that lust got fulfilled, but it will not give any hope, any concession. Okay, you served me so long. No, it won't give. That's why Śrīmad he says, Kamadinam katina karita palita durnidesha. So by becoming servant of my lusty desires, Kamadinam katina karita palita durnidesha, I have served them so obediently. But natrupa nopashantihi. But still, they don't get satisfied, natrupa, no upashantihi. And they don't give concession, okay, you serve me so long, so many lifetimes you serve me, from this lifetime I will not give you any trouble. They don't say. Senses won't say that. Palita Durnidesha. But how one can get out of that? Yamunacharya says, Utsujjhayatam ate edupate, sampritam labdha buddhis. But now I have come to you, O Lord. You please me. You please satisfy this. Only our unlimited desires to satisfy our lusty desires get satiated only when they channel to serving Krishna. So as long as we don't channel them to serving Krishna, any other means will not work. So it may be through yoga process, it may be through jnana process, it may be through karma process, any other process other than devotional service will not satisfy our desires, especially the lusty desires. So it can be satisfied only when they channel to Krishna. And we have seen so many examples in the scriptures. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and the lives of great acharyas. Can you think of any examples from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that a person was very lustful but ultimately Ajamila? Yes. So Ajamila is an young boy. So he was trained in Brahminical culture, but he fell victim to a prostitute. So he wasted his 80 years of life. At the far end, by the mercy of the Lord, he could able to chant the holy name. And he got a second chance. And he perfected his life. And can you think of any other devotees in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that they fell victim to lust, but it took so long? Chitraketu Maharaj, how? Yeah, that different way. So that is also one of the types of lust, but not the lust which is directly related to the opposite gender in one sense. And we also see Yayati. No. Yayati? Yes. Yeah. Yayati. He got cursed by Shukracharya because of his illicit affair. So he goes to Shukracharya and asks, okay, you're cursing me, but if you curse me, your young daughter has to suffer. Because Shukracharya cursed him, he will become old man, cannot be useful. And Shukracharya gave a lenience in the curse. You go and exchange your old age with someone's youth. So you probably go to your sons. And Yayati went to his younger son, Yadu, elder son. So he said, no, I'm waiting for Lord to appear in my family. So, and I want to fulfill my desires in a religious way. And I want to have Lord to take birth in my family. So that's why Yadu Amsha is glorified. And then he goes to the next son and he rejects. And last son, he says, my dear father, I'm a third class son, second class son. The first class son, he's supposed to know the desire of father and fulfill his desire before even ask me. But I am a second class son, so I had to wait for you to ask. And what is the use of my life if I don't fulfill your request? So he exchanged with his younger son. And finally, we see in the 9th canto, 9th canto or 11th canto, yet finally he renounces. What is this? I once he gives an analogical story. She-goat, he-goat, they fell in the ditch, and I went to get the she-goat out. So finally he comes out by the process of devotional service. Can you think of any acharyas that who fell victim to lust? Bilva Mangal Thakur, a famous story of Bilva Mangal Thakur. So he was a young boy attracted to one prostitute, Chintamani. Then on the day of his father's funeral, it was happening right at the Ganges. He says, how long it will take? I have to go meet Chintamani. I have to go meet Chintamani. Please do it quick, do it quick. And he left the funeral. And it was pouring heavy rain. And still he wanted to go and meet Chintamani. And he has to cross a river. And there was no boatman. He goes to a boatman. His boatman asks, this is pouring rain. If we try to cross this ocean, this river, boat will sink, we both will die. No, I don't want to come. Then Bilva, he immediately jumps in the river. And he was swimming. While swimming, because it's so ferocious rain and flood, he wanted to catch hold of something. So he thought some wooden plank is coming. So he holds that wooden plank and he crosses that river. And later, he realizes that's not wooden plank, some dead body was floating. Because the lust, to satisfy that lust is so intense, he didn't even care what is happening. And finally he goes and Chintamani waits for him. But she thought, okay, today is raining so heavily, Bilva may not come. So she closes the door and went inside the chamber. He knocked, nobody opening the door. And finally he tried to jump the wall. And it's so tall, high fence, he cannot easily jump over. So while trying to climb the wall, he catches some kind of rope. But it was not rope, it was a snake. And he catches, he jumps over, then finally he climbs on the roof, breaks the roof, and he jumps. And Chintamani got so upset. Bilva, what are you doing? He says, no, I want to satisfy, I want to see you. Without you, I cannot live. And she says, oh Bilva, if you have developed the same intensity of love which you have for this material body, if you had developed for the Lord, you must have become a great devotee. And immediately he got realization. And then he begs pardon and Chintamani directs Bilva to Vrindavan. And on the way to Vrindavan, he was thirsty, he was sitting next to a small lake drinking water. So there one Brahmana woman comes. And again Bilva got attracted to her. And he goes, follows her, and she runs a bit quickly and goes and tells to her husband that one gentleman is following me, looking like a Brahmana. So husband welcomes, my dear sir, please come. And it's the duty of a householder to fulfill the desire of a guest. So what can I serve you? And Bilva tells, I want to meet your wife privately. So Brahmana says, okay, he makes arrangement. So please go, whatever he asks, satisfy. And Bilva, although followed that Brahmani with lusty desire, but when he goes inside, he realizes, my eyes are my enemy, they are distracting me. So he asked, Brahmani, can you give me your hairpin? And she gives. Immediately he plucks his 2 eyes. And then Bilva, that Brahmana asks, what can I serve you? Can you please direct me to Vrindavan? He gives a servant and both goes to Vrindavan. And then after that we know Bilva Mangal Thakur Krishna Karunamrita. Every morning we offer obeisances. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho, Dina Bandho Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute. So that was that prayer written by Bilva Mangal Thakur. And he got Sakshat, Lord himself comes to give milk every day. And he wrote so nice Chaurashtakam. So many tremendous work he did. So, although initially one may develop, but that can get satisfied, our lust will get satisfied only when it is directed to Krishna, to his pastimes, to his beauty. So otherwise there is no hope. And we see these days, and if somebody is not lusty, and they see very low upon them. And whole world runs on this. I was just, out of curiosity, just before coming to the class, I was checking what's the approximate net worth. I asked ChatGPT. It gave $1,500 billion worth to satisfy lust. So it may be online, offline, and is only officially recorded one. Unofficially, there are so many to fulfill one's lust. And pretty much whole world runs on that. And there is no education system nowadays is how to safely entertain the desires, rather than telling you have to control and overcome. So that's why Chanakya Pandita, he says, what is real education? So real education is to tell matravat paradhareshu. So to see every other woman as a mother. So these days you call any person, any young lady, Mataji, they feel offended. Why are you calling Mataji? I am so young, why you calling me Mataji? I am not old. But real education is to see, other than one's wife, everyone else as mother. But these days it's opposite. And paradhavyeshu laustuva, to see others' money as garbage on the street. Paradhavyeshu laustuva. And atmavat sarvabhuteshu, to see everyone as their own family members. But we don't see that in these days. And no education system provides that education. So that's why only way to help the society and anyone else is somehow or other help them to bring to the level of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there is no hope. If we carefully observe, other than Krishna consciousness or talking about Krishna or in relation to Krishna, all the conversations, all the activities in the world, pretty much in three modes of material nature. So if somebody is not talking about Krishna or in relation to Krishna, all the other talks are just based on three modes of material nature. You can carefully observe. If you call somebody, your parent or your workmate or someone, first question you ask, how are you? Depends on the modes, he will say reply. What are you doing? Depends on the modes, they reply. And the conversation doesn't go very long. How is this person? How is that person? What is your dog doing? What is your property value? This. Pretty much only around three modes of material nature. So if all the talks, all the conversations only in the three modes of material nature, so they are the original cause of binding the whole living entity. How they can elevate the living entity? They cannot elevate. Any eloquent speaker may be speaking on motivational speech or any kind of speech. That will not bring person out of these three modes of material nature. So only talks about Krishna brings one out of the three modes of material nature, which are entangling at every step. So that's why, as a devotee, it's our responsibility to make our life centered around talks about Krishna in relation to Krishna, and help others to have a lifestyle centered around ultimate about Krishna. So as long as that doesn't happen, any kind of work, it may be named with anything, not going to help, because it's only in the three modes of material nature. So Krishna says, Mam evaya prapadyante mayam yetan tarantite. So only when one comes to surrender Krishna, take help of Krishna when lust attacks in any form, so one can mayam yetan tarantite. So one can taranti, means overcome. So otherwise, nothing is going to help. So from this pastime, we can understand that it's better and best and ultimate to get attracted to Krishna, rather attracting to other elements, whatever it may be. And that makes one's life glorified. So we also see in the pastime of Ramananda Rai. So Ramananda Rai, he was training Devadasis in Jagannath Puri to prepare them to act for Lord Jagannath. So while serving them in that way, in that service, he personally has to bathe the Devadasis. And in the purport, it was mentioned in that section where Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Prabhupada mentions, he was not on the bodily platform. Although he is touching those young women, but he was not agitated by them. So that was the consciousness. And we also see the consciousness of devotees. And best example we can take from His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. So when he was young, during the Juhu pastime, so he, to divert him, Mr. N, he appointed, that lawyer appointed a prostitute, and both were going in a taxi, in a car. Maharaj was sitting in the middle, prostitute was sitting next to him, and there's another person. So he was in the middle. So she was provoking like anything. And Maharaj writes in I Will Build You a Temple, he writes, he was almost gave up. But suddenly he remembered, how would Srila Prabhupada feel if I fall down? And then that thought immediately brought him back. He said, no, he controlled. So if we have higher purpose in life, only then we can control these desires of whatever way they are coming. Otherwise it's so difficult. You just go out, you just open internet browser. Even while going on the freeway, you see so many billboards provoking. So that's why, no. So we have to get convinced that this is not the highest pleasure, but I have to experience the highest pleasure to go to Krishna. Even in the Japa book by His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj, towards the end he writes, my dear Lord Krishna, I certainly want you only, but my senses say I want something else. And I have experienced all of them, and I have realized, but they never gave me any satisfaction. So knowing that, I want to fully invest myself in chanting your holy names. So we have to come to that conviction that whatever amount of fulfilling the desire of senses other than Krishna, serving Krishna, they are not going to satisfy. So knowing that, we have to fully invest ourselves in the process of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So then there is a hope. And we all have at least little bit experience. And personally I have. It is said that every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. So we know our past and how the process helped us to come to the level where we are at. Although we are not, at least myself, not pure, but I know where I was and where I am. So process is working. Knowing that, we have to be strict to the process and move forward. And in between, different kinds of hurdles may come, so tolerate them. And take shelter of Krishna tightly. Then Maya will go. So I'll stop here. If you have any questions or comments, corrections, please feel free. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, we see in this pastime how Lord Shiva, he desires to see the form of Moini Murti, and Krishna shows him, and then he ends up being in trouble. But we hear in lectures and lots of pastimes, we see that Krishna usually gives us what is good for us and what we deserve, not whatever we ask for. So how do we understand? Even in the past, Markandeya Rishi, he also asked to see the illusory form of Krishna and he got in trouble. So how do we understand these pastimes?
How do you understand the pastimes when Lord fulfills the desire of a devotee? Because here Lord Shiva wanted to see the form of the Lord, which he already shown to demigods and the demons. Because he fulfills to glorify the devotee and to tell the world that if you try to deviate from the process of bhakti and how you can get entangled. So, to show the world, don't try to touch the fire, it will burn you. So, whoever you may be. To set an example. So, he uses his devotees and fulfills their desire, and to guide us, better not to entertain those. And to tell, even great Lord Shiva has to fall bewildered by seeing the Mohini Murti form. And who can withstand? So in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 3rd canto, Kapila Muni, he tells, so who is in this entire three worlds is not bewildered by the illusory potency, my illusory potency in the form of a woman. So it may be men to the woman, woman to the men. So who is there except Naranarayan Rishi? So we see in the pastime of Naranarayan Rishi, all the different demigods sent apsaras and beautiful women to allure Narayan Rishi. But when they came in front of the Lord, and from the Lord, all the different, even more beautiful women were coming out, seeing that they got bewildered. And in the pastime of Markandeya Rishi, after the whole pastime finished, he got bewildered seeing the illusory energy of the Lord. Then he prays, oh, it was my mistake, next time I won't ask you. So, to give that, Lord fulfills. So in future, when we read, we think, okay, even for jokingly, we should not do that. It's just a waste of our time. So for that purpose. So he uses his devotees to teach us. Anything would you like to add, Prabhu?
Thank you.
Thank you. And this month is very special. Every morning we pray, Kuver Atmajau Baddha Murthai Advat. So we are also, all are Baddhas in one way, bound up by our lusty and different desires. So we pray, like you delivered Nalakuvara and Manigriva, similar way, O Lord, please deliver us. And what's the next two lines it says? Tata prema bhakti. So you gave your own devotion to them. So please give me the same way. So I'll stop here. If you have any other questions. No? Okay. Hare Krishna. Grandharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.